facilitator, management, leadership trainer, and a motivational speaker, talking about hopelessness, kupererwa, and such a befitting song to open up with. Rise Up. Why this particular song?
This song has got an incredible effect on me. The first time I heard it, it just uplifted me. But what was even more impactful is the official video of this song. If you haven't watched it, I urge you to watch it. Because when I saw it, I then thought, I've got a lot of problems in my life, but they are nothing compared to the story that is depicted in the short movie. That is the official video for this song. So today we're really talking about hopelessness. There comes a time in your life when things just don't seem to be going well. It's like you're at the end of your tether. There are no options, there are no hope, no luck. It just seems there's a bleak situation where I remember talking to a friend and they say the situation is hopeless and it's getting worse. Now imagine if it's already hopeless and then getting worse. So this could be a situation where maybe you have lost employment, or maybe the environment has just changed to a certain extent that your hustle doesn't work anymore. You can't make money. You're looking at your children, you need to pay school fees. You're looking at the lifestyle that you've chosen for yourself. You're looking at the name that you've carved in society, and you're looking at the ambitions and aspirations that you have, and you're doing your best, and things just don't seem to be working out. And what do? So this was partly inspired by one of the members of the Success family who wrote a message implying that he was at a point where he was questioning the purpose of his existence, or whether he should even continue to exist on this physical plane. And I thought maybe there are others who are also facing a similar situation, and they're at that point where you're feeling, I've done all I can, I've used all the resources I have, but things just don't seem to be working. And what do I do? So therefore, you reach that stage of hopelessness. So what I'm going to share here is speaking to someone who might be in any of those situations where maybe things that have been working have stopped working. Or maybe you've tried so hard, put so much effort, and you just don't seem to be making progress. And what particularly hurts is when you notice people who are doing maybe half of what you're doing, and they seem to be doing well. Somebody said the worst part about being down and out is watching the world go by. BYU. And you're watching people just going, and you're like, why? What's wrong? What's happening to me?
And then sometimes you start looking stupid in the eyes of people, and they start maybe even judging and thinking you're not doing anything.
We are especially when you are judgmental.
When you are experiencing your down moment, where they won't understand that you're actually really putting the work, you're trying, but I've scuba time. It's really good.
Sure. So let me go through this. I've got quite a lot to share, right? But feel free to interrupt me at any point. Now, the first thing you need to do when things go bad, let's put it that way. The first thing you need to do is you need to give yourself permission to cry. Give yourself permission to cry, because your emotions need a channel to be expressed in a healthy way. So by crying, I'm not saying walk in the street and cry, or open your, your armpits, no, but find a way of letting out that pain which is healthy. So some people will go jogging. I don't know if you watched this movie. What is it called? Forrest Gump.
Run, Forrest!
He just went running when things were not working for him, and he ran and ran and ran until he had used up all that anger that was in him. So you might go into your room and cry. You might pray. Whatever it is, but find a way of expressing what you have. Express it. Don't act it out. If you try and suppress it, trust me, it will find a way of exploding, which most likely will not be healthy. So you find that there are 5 steps of grief. Normally we start with denial. This is not possible. How can this happen to me? Why? How? So it's natural. Don't try and short circuit the process. It's natural. It happens that way. Usually denial is then followed by anger. When it really strikes you that this is the reality, this is what has exactly happened. I have lost this job. This hustle I'm doing will no longer be able to provide the money that it was providing, or maybe I've lost this relationship, or maybe, you know what, it's inevitable, this marriage is ending in a divorce, there ain't nothing I can do at this point. So you get angry, and don't deny yourself the ability to get angry. It's natural, it's human. The thing is, what do you do with your anger? So you have to find a way of channeling that anger, which is healthy. So you might talk to a trusted friend, you might go to a counselor, you might, I don't know, go to the gym and do 2,000 press-ups, I don't know, but find a way of letting out all the toxicity that is built up in you. And then we normally go to the stage called bargaining. So bargaining is where you're now trying to see possibilities. Maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. And this unfortunately leads to depression. And depression, I think, is when reality really strikes. But not only that, but when the reality strikes, it's accompanied by that feeling of powerlessness, that really this is beyond me, there ain't nothing I can do to reverse the situation. And finally you get to acceptance. So acceptance is when you actually say, you know what, I'm accepting that this has happened. And for me, acceptance also involves a very important part. It's responsibility. When you now say, this is what has happened to me, rightly or wrongly, right, I contributed to this, directly or indirectly. Now, this is so difficult, but it's extremely important, because the moment you get to a point where you say, I played a role in the situation, maybe I failed to plan, maybe I didn't anticipate, maybe I didn't put enough in my relationship to make it last, maybe I didn't deliver as much as I could in my job, maybe I didn't get the qualifications I need so that I can move on to something else, maybe I didn't move with time and learn the skills that I needed. But when you do that and you identify your contribution to the situation, you are empowering yourself. This is counterintuitive, because it is natural to want to go into the child mode where you blame somebody else. I'm not responsible. It's the environment, it's whoever, whatever. But when you get to a point where you accept, to whatever extent, that there is an aspect that I am responsible for, it empowers you, because if you are responsible for some aspect, it means you can do something about it. You're starting to move out of the victim mindset. So this is important. This is all part of the crying I was talking about. That 5 stages of grief. Be aware and enable it. Give yourself. You know, when I was at university many years ago, we had a Secretary General of the SRC, Student Representative Council, used to say, it's your democratic and inalienable right. It's your democratic and inalienable right to cry. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Not necessarily in public, but it's important. So that's step number 1.
Not bottling your emotions.
Not bottling. It won't work.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. You need to cry. Find a way of expressing it. And we say there's denial, there's anger, there's bargaining, there's depression, and finally acceptance. And acceptance, I tied it very closely with responsibility. When you get to that point where you say, I contributed somehow, that is of extreme importance. So let's move on. Number 2, you need to focus on your sphere of influence. What I mean is, think about those things that you can change. Things that you can do that are within your power. Because as long as you focus on what is wrong but that you can't do anything about, you feel disempowered. You feel weakened. Unoshaya simba because hapana zvaunokwanisa kuita nezvazvo. Now, this is good when you want sympathy from people. I'm a victim. Yes, you'll get sympathy, but other than sympathy, you will not be able to turn around your situation. You are delaying your recovery. So you really need to get to that point. And as you get to that point of focusing on your sphere of influence, you need to stop digging. If there are things you've been doing that are worsening the situation, you need to stop. And it requires you to be acutely aware of the ramifications of the things you're doing. What are the consequences of the things you're doing? Because if you continue digging, you will continue sinking. So you need to do that. And related to that is something that I've said previously on radio, but many years ago, is that you can't eat your ego. So you find that most of the stress we have when things don't go well are not necessarily to do with the real risk we face, but they are to do with, 1, our attachment probably to material things, and 2, and most importantly, the identity that we have. What will people say? What will people think of me? So you find that the gravity, the seriousness with which our crises affect us is subjective. It's not objective, and it's not common for everyone. So it's how you think about what you think people will think about when you think they'll think about you.
Yeah.
So you can't eat your ego. And there comes a point where you have to just forget about what people are going to say. This is about me. Let me focus on what will be different in terms of me moving forward. So that focusing on your sphere of influence is looking at yourself, looking at your conduct, your habit, your thoughts, the friends you have, everything you do, and it's really breaking down. Oh, that's the next step. So the next step is the breakdown and redesign. You need to break down yourself. Somebody posted in the Success Family yesterday about how the first 3 months, we're doing a review of the first quarter of the year, about how it has been a time of trial and tribulation. And I said to him, maybe you have been broken down because something new and great is about to be built out of you. And there's absolutely no way we can have this new architecture, this new design, when this old structure is still there. So you need to break down and say, right, if I am going to move forward, what is it about me that I need to seriously change? What is it that I break down and I redesign? What are the things that I can start focusing on? And then the next point, number 4, is to take action. An idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah.
The more you just think and worry and stress, the more worried you get, and you get into that place that I call paralysis by analysis. You're overthinking. So you need to start taking action. Every day I send a motivational note to the Success Family, and today's said something that I wrote last year at a rare moment of inspiration, that I said, a drop of action is worth more than an ocean of words. So if you start taking action, and you can start on what I would call small wins, quick wins, in that action, you're really looking at internal actions and external actions. Internal actions are to do with how you think about your situation, what you think about it. External actions are the actual things you do. One of the actions that I found is really transformational is when you swallow your pride and you go to people who can assist you and you say, listen, my friend, I'm in a fix. I need help. There are so many people who struggle to say, I'm asking for help.
And your destiny helper, because you're living a fake life, is assuming, that you're living large and you're okay. But the people are supposed to help you.
Just asking. It's amazing. There's so many times in my life when I've been in a really risky situation, and I just managed to summon enough strength to suppress my ego and to go to somebody and say, listen, things are not working for me. Yeah, at the surface things might be looking good, but they're not. I think you could help me. This is what I offer. This is what I do. Please give me a chance. Give me a break. I promise you, give me half a chance, you'll not regret it. Right? So a lot of times and this is, I'm sorry to say, it's more common among men than women. Somehow we find it hard to go to people who could assist us, who could help, who could support. Yeah, maybe they're going to tell other people about it. You know what? That Jonah guy is on radio is doing this, but oh man, his finances are in a mess. Yeah, they might tell somebody, right? Yeah. But tell you what, there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop people talking about you the way they want to talk about you. If you're going to worry about what people say, then you might as well lock yourself up in your room and die. Because people will always talk. But when you get to that point where you say, I want to take action, and the actions I'm going to take might or might not result in people knowing my situation and talking about it, so be it. What does it matter? Maybe today you might be in that situation. Tomorrow you are a testimony telling them that I was here and look where I am today. And people who supported me along the way are people like V Candy, who I went and spoke to confidentially. So that is number 4. Take action. Start taking action, even small action. And then number 5, you need to be in the right environment. Environment plays a critical role. As I was driving here to the studio, I witnessed what I see every day, which really frustrates me. Drivers behaving badly on the road.
Yeah.
So the traffic light is red. It's red for you. You start inching forward before it is green and you're blocking other cars. And guess what?
Where are you going?
Guess what? A few years ago, this was the preserve of Mushika Shikas and Kombis. Yeah. But because we're in this environment, it has affected us. The cancer is caught on. So even normal people are driving like maniacs. That's the power of an environment. Environment influences you. So it's important to be in an environment that is supportive. And on my part, this is the reason why we've got the Success Family. It's an environment of like-minded people who are supporting each other to grow and mutually support each other. And then number 6, you need reinforcement. Reinforcement comes from acknowledging the small progresses you are making. It's from celebrating your small wins. It's from immersing yourself in the right literature, the right material, the right people. And so I could say more on reinforcement, but I need to close now. Who? The last thing is, who are you? Now, this is important. When you think about it, all worry, all stress that we have that can send us to an early grave, it's all linked to materialism. It's linked either to material things that we're losing, or it's linked to our attachment to a certain identity of who I am. I'm known as Jonah Mungoshi. I'm a managing director. I'm supposed to drive this kind of car. I'm supposed to send my kids to this school, etc. Everything that brings us stress is material, it's physical. Now, there is a chance that whatever you're going through is for spiritual purposes, because no matter what experience you go through, how bad it is, every single experience, you can write this down and underline it, every single experience you go through in this world is giving you an opportunity to develop spiritually. And ultimately, that's who you are. That's who you are. Because when this short period, this span of life we have ends, we know, unless, okay, if you're an atheist and you don't believe there's life after life here, we know that what matters, what counts, is the eternity that counts there, when it's your spiritual assets that matter. So every experience you have is an opportunity for you to learn. Look, if you think this is of help to you, then I invite you to join the Success family. You can send the word join to the number 0773 056 736. I'll repeat that, 0773 056 736. Send the word join and we will work together. No matter how dark the situation is, remember that even the light of a single candle cannot be extinguished by all the darkness in the world. It ain't hopeless. There's always hope.
Wow, thank you so much, Jonah. Really priceless nuggets you share with us here, and looking forward to next week. Really appreciate you. Hopelessness, kupererwa. I know you have been helped. Star FM, we're live as well on Facebook, so make sure you go watch and also share with someone. Check your time with mine. It is 10 o'clock. Time for the news.